Do you guys own an Isuzu NPS or you're looking to purchase one? Not too sure what wheels or tyres you need to get? We've been travelling Australia for 18 months in ours, and we're going to run you through everything we've learned over that 18 months about the wheels and the tyres and what we think you should do. Hey guys, I'm Bryony.
I'm Andrew.
And we're from Accelerate Off-Grid Touring. You haven't seen us for a little while on the YouTube channel. We've been traveling Australia, but we're going to do our kind of build 3 video, which is a series of different videos about our NPS and the final product. We've been traveling Australia now for 18 months in our Isuzu NPS. So in this video, we're going to run you through wheels and tyres.
Yeah, so before I start, I'm the wiring guy. I'm not a tyre guy. Everything I say is not official. It's basically what we've learned and what's worked for us. We're 65,000 Ks in this. Some of the worst roads in Australia. We're heavy. We've done it all: beach, bush, corrugations, and yeah, I guess this is about the pressures, how they wear, what we went, and we've also got a fair few friends who are traveling around with different kinds of tyres, so I can give you a bit of an insight into some of them as well.
Cool. All right, first question up. It came with
Dualies on the rear.
We got a super single, I'm not technical, super single conversion. So, explain it.
Yeah, so they come with standard wheels, they're little and they're small, and then
on front and rear?
You got 2 on the back, 1 on the front.
Each side.
Yeah, the big downside, there's lots of downsides. They're skinny, they obviously can't get 4-wheel drive style, but the main one is with the twin wheels at the back, you can get rocks lodged in there if you're doing off-roading, and obviously wear out the sidewalls and pop. So most of the 4-wheel drive guys who are touring go to super singles, which is just normal wheels front and rear, and they just four tyres, and they basically go one way on the front, and then you flip them around to go the other way on the back, and that's the way they make up for the duals that were on the rear.
Okay, so who did is it super single conversion?
Yep.
Am I using it? Okay, cool. Who did the super single conversion?
So that's All Terrain Warriors. They are the ones that do the 19.5 inch rims.
Cool. So if you do, there's other companies that do super single conversions, but All Terrain or ATW do the 19.5s. What's the other size you can get?
So there's 17s as well. Like, just to jump on that quickly, could be wrong, but everything I've heard goes 17s. You lose at least 500 in your GCM. So 500 kilos, it gets taken off your GCM. Whereas the 19.5s, you get the full 11 tons or 7.5 GVM. So GVM truck can be 7.5 tons. All up with the trailer, you can be 11 tons with the super singles, which is what they come from the factory.
Cool. All right. So All Terrain Warriors have done the conversion.
Correct.
We can be 7 kilos.
7.5, just the truck.
Just the truck.
Yeah.
What's the other benefits of it?
Okay, so, and we're close, so we're really heavy. The 19.5s as well, don't seem to have failures. The 17s, they are a smoother ride, but if you're watching the forums, you'll see the sidewall issues, a lot of weight issues. 19.5s, they are, my understanding is, well and truly overrated for the weight we're doing. I think the actual load rating of the tyre is well and truly exceeding what we're all running on these trucks, and so have not heard of and definitely not experienced any sort of sidewall failures.
Cool. All right, so we're on 19.5, so the next big thing is what tyres are we running?
Okay, so we got the chunky ones. We got the mud terrains, the Founders mud terrains from All Terrains. They're the importer for them, as far as I'm aware, and the only supplier in Australia. They do now do an all-terrain, so less chunky, slightly better wear, but I was already in mud terrain land, and when you got 6 tyres and you're rotating, I'm still in mud terrain land.
Cool. So all-terrain, Founders, mud terrain.
Cool.
What other options are there out there that we are aware of? We have not used any of them, so this is just our experience talking to people. So
the cheaper ones that a lot of people are using are the Good Rides. We got a lot of friends on Good Rides. One of them just left here this morning, and they are more of a highway tyre and a lot more attainable. But they're good for the weight and don't seem to have failures, but they're a smooth highway tyre.
So when you say more attainable, we've
said
they picked them up in Karratha, you can get them elsewhere. So the probably one and only downside we're going to say to the tyres that we're using is we've got to pre-prepare. So how many kilometres do we get out of our tyres?
Okay, so
Quick answer, just give me a quick answer. Rough.
out of the rears I get 25 now, 25,000.
Cool. So we have to pre-order a set of tyres. So we have done that in Darwin and we have done that in Geelong. And so we have to pre-plan to allow us, you know, a couple of weeks at most to get the tyres there from the Sunshine Coast. We have to align for them to get, crate of tyres to get delivered somewhere to install them and that sort of thing. Whereas the founders, you picked them up in Karratha. Good Rides. You picked them up in Karratha, a day's notice sort of thing. So they're more available anywhere in Australia. And that, I think, for us is the one downside. But we've stuck with them. So, all right, let's go back to kilometres. What have we learned? Let's go our first set of tyres. So we are on our second set of tyres? Third.
Sort of third.
Third set of tyres.
So what, all right, this, not a tyre guy, just 65,000 down the road, and I've now gone through, I think, 12 tyres all up. What I've learned is I don't rotate anymore. Initially I was rotating all the way around, the 6 rotate, as I would have normally done with every other vehicle. I learned that was not working for me.
So we did that the first set of tyres, and that was like how many Ks?
So I got like nearly 35,000 out of the 6. So you were forever rotating to keep them up because the rears wear a lot faster than the fronts. My theory is the weight over the rear axle and also the super tight diff. And so what I was doing, rotating all the way through, but the minute you put the backs on the fronts, the thing howls like a gut shot dingo. It is the noisiest truck on the road with the tyres, especially when you reverse them to go the other way, which is what you should do, rotating tyres, but they get so blocky and they get crazy noisy. So here's my top tip for running Founders tyres is I just leave the rears on and I leave the fronts on and I just keep going, and I nearly get 3. I'm about to prove it with my third set. I just put a new set of rears on yesterday. I get about 3 rears to a set of fronts and it stays way quieter. The fronts wear nice and even because we got the good wheel alignment with the shims that Nick organised. And yeah, so that's my top tip, is just run your rears and keep swapping them over and keep your fronts the same, and that's work.
Sorry, what do you mean by run the rears and keep swapping them over?
So just as your rears wear out, put new ones on the rears, and then your fronts, just leave them, and like literally I've still got half the tread and it's been 30,000 K.
All right, so what else do we want to cover off on?
So pressures are what everybody wants to know.
Pressures, yeah. What do we roll on the road, just highway driving?
This is just what works for me.
We're a 4-ton van as well. Let's add that in. We're towing a 4-ton van. So truck, 4-ton van.
Yep, just under 4 ton on the van. It's not that ball heavy, to be honest. It's pretty good. But the truck is very heavy. There's a big boat on top. We got a lot of stuff. So on the rears, I run 105, and that has worked for me. That has really helped with the edge wear that I was experiencing in the beginning. Now they're wearing pretty flat. And on the fronts, I'm 95, and that's on the highway.
And the van?
The van is 40, and that's kind of, I don't know, we got a zone, that's what they tell us to run. The van is 40.
All right, let's go other scenarios. Corrugations?
So dirt and minor corrugations, because it's all about tyres. And ride, so ride quality is a big one. Minor corrugations, I am like 80 on the back and sort of 60, 65 on the front, and that takes the sting out of the minor corrugations.
And 30 on the van?
Yeah, and about 30 on the van. That's minor corrugations. Heavy corrugations, I will go sort of like 60 on the truck if it feels good. I will go down to like 40 on the front, so 60, 40, and then van down to 20. And then sand, I will go...
So sand, we're usually not towing the van. There's been a few instances where we've been towing the van, but usually it's putting the boat in and out.
Yeah, so sand, no van, it's normally boat. Boat's the one that gets me, man. My boat just drags me down. Sand, normal beach, like Double Island Point or something normal, I will go 40-20. If it's like hell soft, South Australian, Western Australian sand, that big grainy stuff, I will go say 40-20, and if I have to, I've been down to like 15 and 5, just Like if I get bogged,
So 15 front, 5 rear.
no, 15 rear, 5 front.
Okay.
Not for long, only for to get out.
To get out, yeah.
I want to be clear, whenever I go low.
We'll put some footage in of us being parked. We don't classify it as bog unless we need to get winched out.
Which doesn't happen.
We just drop our tyre pressures if we, it's mainly beach launching, and then we're coming back out over the high tide mark, especially in Western Australia.
So if I'm going to talk my crazy low tyre pressures, you got to be careful. You can't turn hard because obviously you can roll a tyre. So my crazy low pressures are to get me out and safely onto a hard bit, and then I'll change it. I won't rip up and down the beach in it, and I certainly won't be trying to do donuts or anything silly. But yeah, if I go low to things like a tank, and it will pull me out of everything. If you do own one and you get bogged, you'll get every hero come around and tell you what tyre pressures you should be running as they get out of their Ranger or 200 series. But it just go low, and they're pretty amazing what they can do.
Cool. So I guess when we were ordering those second set of tyres to Darwin, we discussed whether we would go good rides because they were more readily available and we weren't having to freight them around the country. We were doing with the van on in pouring down rain in tropical North Queensland, coming down a muddy road, and we were literally having this discussion, and I said, well, what would happen in this instance? Would we be able to get out of here? Because I think we're in first gear, low range kind of stuff in mud.
Slipperiest, wettest, greenest grass with like slidey mud underneath.
And Andrew's like, no, we'd probably be really struggling right now. So I think for us that sort of cemented why we stuck with the tyres, because we hadn't had any issues. We hadn't got bogged. At this point in time, we hadn't had any flat tyres. I guess for us, we'd rather pay a bit more of a premium, and that's probably in the freight and that sort of thing, to know we don't have issues, especially with 3 kids in the back. We're generally in off-road conditions a lot of the time. You say a premium, one tow truck with a van and a truck is just like there was a situation where somebody had in the territory, and it was $6,000 tow, and so I think just if you can avoid a tow truck, it's not fool's money. What else was I going to? I was going to talk about a flat. So we've had one flat in 18 months and 60,000 Ks. I was driving, so let's just put it all out there. That was my fault because I was driving. But
the tyres were very, very tired. We were coming back from Arnhem Land, heading to Darwin. There was a full set in Darwin. It was a corrugated road.
It was rocky. It was these big rocks.
It was rocky. Sort of sticking out. It was crazy hot. Yeah. We'd done like 6 hours, and the tyres were really low because I didn't care about the wear, because they literally had to get us another 300 Ks, and they were probably too low for the day, and they were very worn. They were definitely within legal limits, but I knew I had a new set waiting for me, and we were on the Central Arnhem Highway, so I was running probably lower pressure than I was. I let Bryony drive, so that's always the downside. And yeah, so I would say that bulletproof, because I would give that about a 60% user error, and definitely a very, very tired tyre.
Cool. Anything else? I think.
No, I reckon they're cool, man. I'd probably go the all-terrains maybe, because I've got friends who are on them. They're a lot quieter and going well, but I really like the Founders. I think the wear's not as bad as it seems, but I don't know of any other person travelling with the multiple tyres and all the different things that has had such a good run as us guys with the Founders, of no flats, no sidewall blowouts, just no dramas. Like, they're pretty bulletproof, I think. And we got them again, twice. Cool.
So if you have any questions about tyres, feel free to send us a message or put a comment on YouTube. We are adventures.offgrid on Instagram if you want to come and message us direct. We are always more than happy to have a chat to you about any of it. But I think that's about it. Wraps up Tyre Talk. Stay tuned. We're going to go through boat loaders, canopy fit out or electrical fit out, all that sort of jazz on our NPS. Have a good one.
Accelerate off-grid touring, powering your adventures.